10 TV Columbus. From WBNS 10 TV Columbus, this is Eyewitness News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Judy Eulis. Here are the stories leading Eyewitness News this Saturday night. 2 more Americans are dead today in the wake of yesterday's terrorist attack in Rome. That raises the number of dead to 5, while 14 other Americans remain hospitalized. Today, the terrorists are saying children were their primary target. And as CBS reports, a faction of the Palestinian Liberation Organization may have masterminded the attack.
At this hospital about 12 miles from Vienna's airport, the 2 surviving but wounded terrorists are being detained and cared for. This morning, CBS News producer George Osterkamp and the camera crew were allowed through heavy security to speak with one of them. He called himself Mahmoud, said he is Lebanese, though police identify him differently and say he traveled to Vienna on a Tunisian passport. Mahmoud said he and his 2 companions took a taxi to the scene of yesterday. Fatah is the name used by the main wing of the PLO. Yasser Arafat is its leader. But Arafat's mainstream organization has vigorously denied that it was in any way involved in the attack in Vienna or Rome. The question becomes, who is telling the truth? Or was a splinter group of Fatah responsible for yesterday's senseless attack? At another hospital in Vienna, one of the wounded passengers was talking about what he sees as the futility of measures to counter terrorism.
And if you are against it, and all the United States are against it, it can't change much, because those people, they don't care if they die or not.
This morning, the long lines were back at the airport check-in counters, and many people probably never noticed the vivid reminder of yesterday just over their heads. Lem Tucker, CBS News, Vienna.
Among those who remain hospitalized is a Columbus area woman. 77-year-old Elizabeth Root was shot through the chest during the attack. She's reported to have regained consciousness, but is still unable to speak. Another Columbus woman was grazed by a bullet, although she asked not to be identified. In an interview from her Rome hotel, she told Eyewitness News what happened at the airport.
Well, it was bedlam. We heard a noise, which was the grenade being thrown, apparently, that exploded. This was all in one area. Then suddenly, and then we heard popping of the machine guns. I just don't know. We were in the second area where one of the men came over and just aimed wildly the machine guns.
Could you see his face?
I could not see him. I saw a man, but I couldn't tell you what he looked like or anything of the sort, and I dropped to the floor. The 3 other people that I was with had already been hit. I did not know they had been hit. But I thought they were just dropping down, hearing the noise, and I thought, well, I'd better get down, too.
Servicemen who were killed in the airline crash in Newfoundland were buried across the country today. Members of the 101st Airborne Division were returning to Fort Campbell from a peacekeeping mission in the Sinai Peninsula when their plane crashed December 12th. Burial services were held in Tennessee, Florida, New York, and Indiana. By 1988, the B-1 bomber is supposed to go out of production. The government is touting a new bomber called the Stealth. But Columbus Congressman John Kasich says not so fast. Although little is known about the Stealth program, he says it might be more cost-effective to keep the B-1 bomber around for a while.
There are some estimates that the Stealth could cost 2.5 times what the B-1 costs. And in light of these very difficult budget problems and the budget atmosphere that exists, I think we're going to be very hard-pressed to bring a new, expensive bomber program online.
Kasich says the Air Force is scheduled to release more information about the secretive Stealth program in February. Then Congress can weigh the pros and cons of the issue. When we come back, we'll tell you about a couple of energy sources and what they could mean to Ohio's future.
From strangers to special friends, an exchange program that's brightened the holidays for these families. This is Betsy Minnick, and the story is coming up.
Foreign country. It can be a lonely prospect for many people every year. But Betsy Minnick tells us about a group of exchange students who stayed in Columbus this holiday, and they wouldn't have had it any other way.
They come from Japan, Germany, Indonesia, Afghanistan, and 4 other countries. And this is where they spent the holidays, with strangers who are part of a local Baptist Association exchange program. They paid their way over, and the host families took care of the rest. But the kids tell us they got much more out of their visit than a few free meals and a place to stay.
It's been wonderful. We have seen different sides here, and we have grown together like in a family.
This day is really fantastic, I might say. I met a lot of nice people, and they're so good to us.
The host families have their own reasons for taking part in the program.
Introduces us to different countries, the customs, the beliefs, and just the people, different people from all over the world.
Like to put them in a family where they can be and experience American Christmas time and holiday season and know that we care.
Here until New Year's Day, the students chose this farewell dinner to say thank you in a language everyone understands. Using recipes from their native countries, they cooked up some warm and special dishes, just like the friendships they made during their stay. Betsy Minnick, Eyewitness News.
Columbia Gas has been told to find new sources of natural gas and is beginning to follow those orders. The company is waiting for the okay from the Ohio Power Siting Board to build a 16-mile underground pipeline. It will link a Columbia Gas compressor station in Columbus to a pipeline operated by Consolidated Gas Transmission Corporation near Millersport. Last October, the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio ordered the company to buy gas from suppliers other than its sister company. And if the coal companies might want to diversify once they hear this news, analysts say 1986 isn't going to be a very good year for the coal industry. A group of experts say a stagnant national economy and extreme amounts of coal stockpiles are 2 reasons the demand for the product continues to drop. The analysts say from what they can see right now, the coal industry doesn't have any reason to be optimistic about 1986. If it wanted to, the federal government could create jobs by shipping its goods by way of the Great Lakes. That's what a study by the Center for the Great Lakes says. According to the report, states around the lakes could benefit by as much as $28 million and almost 2,000 new jobs. The kinds of goods involved are military hardware and household goods for military personnel. When we come back, Kevin Carter will let us in on the forecast for Sunday and the work week. And Citizen Journal carriers could be out of a job very soon. We'll join a carrier on what could be his last Saturday's CJ delivery. Columbus starts Saturday just like they start every other day of the week by reading the Citizen Journal. But it looks like this could have been the last Saturday to start out that way. And as Mike Horowitz reports, no more CJ in the morning could mean no more jobs for some paper carriers.
Jay Teetenhorst is up and at work at 5 a.m., completing his appointed rounds through the streets of Worthington.
Just having the route has given me the opportunity to meet all the people around here, and I never would have known that they were as nice as they really are. It's just been great.
If the CJ folds, Jay won't be completely out of a job. He also delivers the dispatch in the afternoon and says he'll stick with it when the dispatch goes morning.
I was looking forward to not having to get up, but since the dispatch is switching to the morning and I'm going to be keeping my dispatch route, looks like I won't get to sleep in.
But that doesn't mean Jay won't miss the Citizen Journal. He reads it every morning before practicing his music. Even at 17 years old, Jay realizes there's a lot of history in this paper.
There's a guy up the street, really nice old guy, about 95 years old, who delivered and worked the CJ and delivered it in 1915 or so when he was going to college. And all the people I've talked to, they're really sorry to see it go.
Jay will go on to college. The CJ will live on in his memory. And one of Columbus's chronicles will itself move into the history books. Mike Horowitz, Eyewitness News.
And I bet you it was cold this morning.
I imagine it was pretty cold this morning, but temperatures are actually going up at this hour. We gained 5 degrees from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock.
Why
so
that?
Warm front snuck through. A little bit of snow with it, though, so it could be a touch of snow by morning.
Okay.
We'll take a look at that. The low this morning was 9 degrees. It was cold.
25 for the high. Normal's 22 and 36 for this day, but a year ago, 53 for a low and 68 for a high. That was the record high for this date. The record low of 10 degrees below zero occurred back in 1950. Now, the satellite map will show where that warm front is. It has snuck into the southwestern part of the state. It has a little bit of snow with it, though some of the snow showing up on radar is not reaching the ground. They are not reporting snow in Cincinnati and Dayton, even though the radar is picking it up. There could be some flurries or a period of light snow tonight, which could cause a ground coating. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. Otherwise, high pressure, which is in the southeastern part of the nation now, that brought us a nice day today. As this low-pressure area swings by, high pressure will move down from Canada tomorrow, but it's not a very cold high pressure. In fact, it's a little bit warmer than what we have now, and that will give us a little bit warmer temperatures tomorrow and again on Monday. Here is that precipitation snow from Chicago through Indianapolis to Cincinnati with the warm front. Some showers also in the southeastern part of the nation from North Carolina down to the northern part of Florida. Also some showers in southern Florida and some showers in the southern part of California also, giving some sunny California weather. Actually rainy today. Not too bad temperature-wise in Los Angeles, 71 degrees, 67 at El Paso, where the Buckeyes will be playing basketball tomorrow. Very cold temperatures in the northern part of the country, though, 16 at Minneapolis and also at Bismarck. 21 degrees at Cincinnati. The coldest low I could find was 11 degrees there up in Bismarck. Then the southeastern part of the country, a balmy 74 degrees down at Miami. The weather map for tomorrow then will look like this. That cold front will continue to stay in the southeastern part of the nation, kicking off showers in Florida and along the coast. High pressure here in the south-central part of the country around Memphis will lead to nice weather here as our low-pressure trough moves off to the north and east, taking us snow showers with it, though they will still be around in Michigan and Pennsylvania. Then the next Alberta Clipper, this is the 8th one in the last 2 weeks, will begin to move down to Montana. That'll cause some snow in that part of the country tomorrow. That will not cause us any snow until about Tuesday. It will also signal a change to colder temperatures for us. We see those highs tomorrow way up into the 40s as far as the northern Rockies, 50s, 60s, and even some 70s in the southwestern part of the country, but teens and 20s in the north central and Great Lakes region. That includes the central and southern parts of Ohio, so we will be cold again tomorrow, but a little warmer than we were today. Flurries are expected tomorrow up in Michigan, partly sunny skies in Indiana and Kentucky, and some snow flurries expected also in Pennsylvania and West Virginia. The Buckeye forecast for tomorrow, snow showers hanging on in the northeastern part of the state, where as much as 8 inches of snow fell today. Clearing skies then in the western part of the state as the snow moves out. Temperatures are coming up in the southeast, 29 degrees at Cincinnati. It's only 11 at Cleveland. We'll take a quick look at weather radar to see where that snow is now. You can see it in the north central and west central parts of the state. It's moving down into the south central part of the state. A lot of that snow, as I mentioned, is not reaching the ground, so it's not quite as bad as it looks. Currently here at 10 TV, the temperature is 24 degrees, humidity 83%, barometer 30.03 inches and falling, and the winds from the southwest at 3 miles per hour. Tonight, then, we're expecting mostly cloudy skies, some flurries and cold, low of 17. Tomorrow morning, flurries and partial clearing and cold, high of 32. Monday, partly sunny, not as cold, high of 38. And then 40 on Tuesday. Sounds warm, but it's going to start snowing and get colder during the day. Fair and cold Wednesday and clouding up again by Thursday, Judy. So not too bad the next couple of days, a little bit warmer than we had today.
All right. Thanks very much, Kevin. It was a great swan song for the Buckeyes in Florida today. Coming up next in sports, we'll have highlights from the Citrus Bowl. Stay with us. June, but tickets for the U.S. Senior Open are selling like there's no tomorrow. The tickets range in price from $8 to more than $150. Although the Scioto Country Club expects nearly 100,000 people for the event, it says it's not competing with the other big golf tournament in town.
We're not trying to compete with Muirfield or even to talk about it at the same time, except that our players are the older people, the seniors. They're people that will be recognized, and we think that it's a compliment. We think that the people of Columbus will appreciate both tournaments.
The U.S. Senior Open runs June 23rd through the 29th, and we most likely will be there covering it, right, Tom?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's something I wouldn't mind doing right now, playing golf.
A little golf.
If I could have got down to Florida, maybe I could have got a little in.
But you're here.
But I'm here in the cold, huh? All right.
Well.
If someone told you that Ohio State and Brigham Young would only score a total of 17 points in today's Citrus Bowl, you probably would have thought they were crazy. After all, both teams have explosive offenses. But that's exactly what happened. Defense was the name of the game today. In the very first series of plays, OSU tailback Keith Byers was knocked out of the game, re-injuring that right foot. Not much happened until the second quarter. OSU's Rich Spangler nails the 47-yard field goal, and it's 3-0 the Buckeyes. Ohio State came up with a big break late in the second quarter. BYU running back by Sikahema fumbles the ball in the end zone, and Greg Rogan recovers it for OSU. But then with seconds left in the first half, Robbie Basco hooks up with David Miles for the score, 39 yards on the play, and at halftime, BYU led 7-3. In the third quarter, Ohio State scored what would be the winning touchdown. Larry Kolick picks off Robbie Basco and takes it 14 yards for the score. From this point on, the OSU defense took over the game. Here, Kolick comes up with another interception. Then late in the game, Bosco backed up pass, going for all the marbles, but it's intercepted by William White. The final, Ohio State 10, BYU 7. Now joining me live from Orlando, Florida is Barry Brickman. Barry's getting ready for the Scarlet and Gray replay. It will air following the news at 11:30. And Barry, first of all, it really surprised me, and I guess we were talking earlier, and I guess it's going to kind of surprise you. 17 points. These were two explosive offenses. Everyone was talking about what Bosco was going to do and how Carsados, the Buckeye running game, and Bosco's passing game.
Well, first of all, you look at Jim Carsados. They had absolutely nothing on offense except 3 points. And it's funny you mentioned 10-7, Don, because there was so little going on. You've shown all the highlights, so we can't know. But there really isn't much to show. There are a lot of plays that were a lot of fun that we're going to show you and showed off some really classic things. But you think about it, 6 turnovers came the Buckeyes' way, and they didn't convert any of them into touchdowns. The winning TD was scored by the middle linebacker, nose guard, whatever you want to call Larry Kolick. It indeed was a crazy game. I would have figured it would be 10-7 by the middle of the first quarter, but that's not what happened. But neither one of the coaches said very much about it. They just seemed to say that's the way things happen, and nobody would say it was unusual. I think most people thought it was. The over and under was way over that, but that's just the way it happened. It was kind of a crazy game.
All right, Barry, 11:30 Scarlet and Gray replay, and I'll tell you, I can't remember the last time I saw a middle guard or nose guard come up with 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Down in El Paso, Texas, it was the Sun Bowl featuring Georgia against Arizona. And we'll go to the third quarter, game tied 3-3, and Arizona's Max Zendejas hits the 52-yard field goal. How about that? And it's 6-3 Arizona. Then still in the third, and Georgia quarterback James Jackson backed up pass. But watch what happens. He's picked off there by Mark Rudolph, and he'll take it 38 yards for the touchdown. And it's 13-3 Arizona. In the fourth quarter, Georgia rallied back first with a field goal. And then with this touchdown, Lars Tate scores from 2 yards out, tying the game at 13-all. Arizona had a chance to win the game with 10 seconds left, but Max Zendejas misses a 39-yard field goal. The game ends in a 13-13 tie. One other bowl score to give you, the Aloha Bowl. Alabama beat USC 24-3. Up in the Meadowlands today, the AFC wildcard game, the New England Patriots against the New York Jets. Go to the second quarter, the Pats up 3-0, and New York's Ken O'Brien hits Johnny Hector, 11-yard touchdown pass, and it's 7-3 to Jets. Patriots came right back. Tony Eason hit Stanley Morgan, 36-yard strike, and it is 10-7 the Pats. Now, there's no doubt these two teams do not like each other. Now, watch this. Cedric Jones of New England will take the helmet away from Mullen. We don't know his first name. He's a specialist. Takes it away, and like a nice guy, he gives it back to him just a little bit too hard. The final, New England 26, New York 14. And basketball, bragging rights for the state of Kentucky on the line today as Louisville took on the Wildcats of Kentucky. Former Kentucky coach Joe B. Hall on hand for the game. Wonder which team he was rooting for. We'll pick it up with Kentucky's Kenny Walker. Takes the pass and bakes the turnaround jumper in. And we'll go to the other end of the court in Louisville. Milt Wagner with the alley-oop pass to Billy Thompson. He throws it down. The final, Kentucky 69, Louisville 64. Up at Otterbein tonight, the championship game of the O-Club Classic. Otterbein against North Central of Illinois. We'll pick it up with Otterbein's Mike McKinney, 20 points on the night, and he throws the jumper in. Then North Central's Mike Bohannon takes the pass down low and puts the bunny in. Come back with Otterbein's Dick Hempy, 25 points on the night. First night back since he injured that eye. He's got those Kareem Abdul-Jabbar goggles on to protect his eye. The final, Otterbein 81, North Central 74. To the scoreboard we go. Michigan's a winner. Duke over Appalachian State. Kentucky beats Louisville. Capital over Kenyon, and Otterbein's a winner. High school boys, Miller over Bern Union. Linda McKinley's a winner. Groveport is a winner. Worley over Independence. Kenton beats Elgin. Lancaster 65. Watkins Memorial 49. Toledo Scott's a winner. East Knox over Loudonville. DeSales over Johnstown. Bexley a winner. And that's it over at St. John Arena. Tonight, the OSU women's basketball team hosted UNLV. Tracy Hall led the Bucks with 24 points. Here she takes it down low with the pass and puts the bucket in. Misty Thomas had 20 points for UNLV. Here she will throw the jumper in. Do it for me, Misty. It's there. The final, Ohio State 87, UNLV 74. And I got to say one name, Joan T-Bone called in, Newark Catholic over Bexley, 58-52. There you go, Joan.
All right, thanks very much, Tom. When we come back, we'll have the story behind the story. No one will argue with the success of the Rocky movies, but how is Rocky doing on the store shelves? Stay with us. On TV, the last couple of hours, you've just seen Rocky 2. Well, tonight we're going to give you just a little bit more of Rocky. His latest movie is not only making money at the box office, but also at the department store.
Sylvester Stallone's Rocky became an American institution some time ago, but it is only with the release of his latest film that Rocky has become a one-man industry. There are Rocky T-shirts and caps, of course, but also Rocky sunglasses, ID sets, bubble blowers, even Rocky ice cream.
Bill?
Yes?
Okay, 89 cents, please.
There's the official Rocky punching bag, and for preppies, Lacoste boxing shorts. Not to mention the official Rocky whistle. In time, Rocky products will be available all over the world, although it's the uniquely American message of Rocky IV which has made this episode so popular for merchandisers.
There was a good image of America, patriotism, and the good guy won, and so we felt it would be good for us.
And what's good for Baskin-Robbins ice cream is also good for the studio releasing the film and its star. MGM United Artists get 7 to 8% of the wholesale price of every single item, with Sylvester Stallone earning an undisclosed portion of those royalties.
There are Beatle fans, and then there are Beatle fans. A 34-year-old Arizona man heard that a rare Beatles single was up for auction, and he went after it. Neil Umford paid a record $3,900 for a 45 RPM copy of Anna and Ask Me Why. Umford says there are only 3 known copies, and his is in mint condition, and boy, it better be. For $3,900, huh?
Probably could have bought it for a quarter back then.
Back then, yeah, I think it was in the 60s. The
60s?
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. Please watch for the Buckeye.